We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, listening on SiriusXM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates across the country. And we are going to move now across the country to New York City for Game 4 tonight, NBA Finals, as we go out to the Progressive guest line. Longtime friend of the show, does a great job covering the sport and the Knicks for the Associated Press. Brian Mahoney joins the program now. Hey, Brian, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well. Can you set the scene for us and the entire audience, like the whole circus that went into Game 3, and tell everybody what that was like the other night?
Yeah, it was definitely a different kind of scene, Mitch. It was obviously awesome to be at the Garden. We've all been looking forward to that first NBA Finals game here since 1999. But it was a lot of a hassle to get into it for the fans, for everyone, with the president here. They have literally barricades, the roads blocked off for 3 to 4 blocks in each direction of the Garden. So long lines, a lot of stuff that just made it feel weird. I think it took a little bit of enthusiasm after it, but once people got inside, they enjoyed themselves, but it was a lot of work to do it.
So it takes a lot out of everyone, you're right, and the fans, because it's a long day. If you can expand on that. Is it the same thing tonight? And what's going on with the blame game here of how the Knicks organization is treating this? If you can enlighten us, please.
Yeah, it is the same thing, Paulie, which I think is caused a lot of frustration on the Knicks' part. There was sort of an assumption, I think, that the extra security was because of the Secret Service rules with the president here 2 nights ago. The president's not here, but all the same rules are still enforced. So the Knicks are mad. The local businesses are mad. The bars, the parking garages, everyone who's always served by people coming into these games, the cars can't get here. And it's even harder for just regular foot traffic to get here if you don't have a ticket or a credential. So it's caused a lot of tension between the Knicks and the city and the police department.
That is, can you imagine if you're a bartender?
No, God, no, absolutely not.
That's devastating. Oh, that's a killer.
It's a killer, and it's a killer of the people are basically having to come into the arena early. And it's an 8:30 game, which is later than it usually is here. So fans who normally would be drinking some beers outside, coming in all rowdy to cheer, are sort of just sitting on their hands. The beers are too expensive inside, and it's sort of taken away, I think, some of just the rowdiness of the crowd, which certainly would help the home team.
There you go. That's great perspective there. Excellent. What did you think of the officiating in the last 2 games? And will this work with Mike Brown calling out the disparity in the second half?
Yeah, Paulie, I understand why Mike was upset about it. The second half was pretty lopsided, a 3-1 edge, shot attempts for the Spurs. The Knicks did foul too much. I mean, certainly a lot of them were legitimate fouls, but, whatever it was, 14-3 in the third quarter, 24-8 overall in the second half, I think those numbers stand out to any coach, especially one who loses the game. So I didn't think it was overall a great officiated game. I think tonight will be a little better. But, again, it's one of those, it wasn't the reason they lost, but it certainly didn't help them the way it was called.
Okay. Is it more the Knicks need to do a better job getting the ball to Cat and it's on Brunson and the Knicks? Or is it the adjustments by San Antonio?
Well, I think San Antonio's done a nice job. I think they feel pretty comfortable the way they guard Brunson. They have some very good defensive guards, some physical guys. And I think, they have not run the ball the way they did through Cat as effectively in this matchup as they did in the last round or two. So it's sort of a dual problem where he's not initiating as well as he did, and Brunson was probably over dribbling, and he's shooting pretty poorly overall. He's had some good stretches, but not great stretches. So I think it's a combination all the way around of, the Knicks need at least one of those guys to have it going well, and neither one of them really, really has for long stretches.
Yeah, and Brian, is there any talk here of what's going on with Cat specifically in the fourth quarter? The first 3 quarters so far of the first 3 games, 50 points overall, 19 to 31, 9 for 9 from the free throw line. In the fourth quarter, he has yet to score, 0 free throw attempts, and 0 of 6 from the floor.
It's something that they need to solve, Mitch. I don't actually know the answer so well. Part of me wonders if he is a little gassed in the fourth quarter. They're playing Mitchell Robinson a little bit less. And it's not a ton of minutes less, but a couple minutes less than they usually do on average. Part of that, I think, is the Spurs have shown the willingness to use the foul game on him and send him to the line. And he's such a bad free throw shooter. The Knicks just can't afford to have him out there so long. So I think that's causing a little extra work on, for Cat. Obviously, he's got to focus so much on it, and he is being guarded a lot by the defensive player of the year. So even as good as he is, it's a tough matchup to win, but he's certainly got to be better at it tonight. They've got to find a way to get him the ball more in shooting spots with the game on the line.
It's been a strange up and down for Wembanyama when he starts some of these games where he doesn't get aggressive and he's not near the basket. But do you expect to be aggressive Wemby that we saw in the last game? Because as we were talking with Mitch here, the alley-oop is unguardable. When someone penetrates and he's near the basket, it's unstoppable. So what do you expect more aggressive Wembanyama and him to be the difference tonight and in the series?
Well, they know that's an option. You're absolutely right, Paulie. I mean, that's just an unstoppable play with him. And look, Fox played better, not shot better, but played better, I thought, the other night, getting into the lane, throwing some lobs. And the way they started the game, I think, he had dunks on their first 2 baskets. He blocked the shot. He was so into it immediately that, for sure, that gives the Spurs such confidence. I think it kind of shook the Knicks up a little bit. They fell behind double digits in like the first 5 minutes. So, if that Wembanyama comes out, which he did not, obviously, in game 2, then the Spurs had the best player on the floor.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Brian Mahoney, has covered the New York Knicks and the NBA for a long time for the Associated Press. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. How do you think it's going to go with the others off the bench tonight with the Knicks? Shamet was great with the first 2 games, but he was negative 20 in game 3, only 1 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 7 from downtown. I want more Alvarado, and Clarkson was also really good in game 3. How do you see that going?
Yeah, Mitch, it's a great point. And, Clarkson was not in the rotation. He comes in the other night. He was the only guy who had it going off the bench, really, scoring-wise. Deuce McBride had a poor game. The Shamet shot was off, like you say. Alvarado did play well, but again, it's only so many minutes for him with the times that Brunson's got to be out there. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, Shamet's going to get a lot of minutes no matter how he shoots because of the way he defends. But if he's not making them, then they just didn't have enough offense. And one of those guys has to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah. Paulie and I, by the way, also anticipate the Spurs to leave Josh Hart open yet again tonight. They did in game 3. He did a great job. He was 4 of 7 from downtown. I'm guessing if he's open, he's going to keep shooting, correct?
Yeah, and, obviously the Spurs got to feel good about that because that's the first game Josh Hart shot the ball well. He's probably not going to hit 4 every night, and they still won the game. So, again, they forced Brunson into a pretty bad game, Cat. That you're going to live with Josh Hart shooting those jumpers, and that's exactly the way Spurs want the game to go, and they won it anyway.
You've covered this team for so long, and they have the long drought, which we all know about. How much talk is there with the sky is falling, and if they lose this tonight, how they blow this, and oh no, this is our best chance, and we could blow it?
Well, it'd be severely hurt, I think, when you have home court advantage and then blow it in the next 2 games. I think that there was a lot of angst just the way the game played out the other night. I listened to some fans. Brunson was over dribbling and, Towns isn't tough enough. And so there was already some concern about, look, the Spurs have played better, I think, for more of the series than the Knicks have right now. So I think the Knicks fans watching this, there's a little bit of concern even with the advantage. So if they lose it tonight and it's 2-2 going back there, you're going to feel some real concern around this city.
There were a lot of celebrity sightings there. There was a lot of A-listers. Were you surprised by the appearance of anyone on Monday night?
I was surprised seeing Derek Jeter. I can't remember seeing him much here at all during all these years. So, I'm covering the Knicks, whether he actually is a big fan now that they're doing well, or whether he was involved in some kind of project here, I'm not quite sure. But he was the first celebrity they showed the other night, and fans loved seeing him, obviously. A great champion in New York, but just one that's not been around very much in the last bunch of years.
Linda Cohen was on and said, 40%?
She said, it was a wide range here. She said between 10 and 45% of Knicks fans are Fugazi.
What do you think?
I have not figured out the full number in there, but it's somewhere in that vicinity. It probably sounded about right.
Yeah, that happens. Everyone wants to be involved with the winner in this long. If you get the bandwagon fans, there's plenty of room, right?
There's been a lot of room to jump on for a long time. That's for sure. Everyone wasn't in a rush to get there, but they're here now.
All right.
How do you see the game ultimately playing out tonight? Who do you think is going to win, Brian, if you have an opinion on it?
I think the Knicks have one good game in them. I don't think it's come yet.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tonight. I think right now they know they need to have a performance. They had a great second quarter the other night, 42 points. So it's there for them. They've shown they can do it, just not in a very long stretch. So I do think we'll finally see it tonight.
You're awesome. Love having you on. Thanks so much for taking the time as always, Brian. Enjoy the game tonight and the entire atmosphere. We appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, guys. Good talking to you.
Follow him on X at Brian C. Mahoney. Awesome dude.
So
live at the Garden.
Yep, thank you. So he's saying expect Taylor Swift at the game tonight. And at Pauley Market, they have who's going to go to the game and the celebrity sightings. Who will attend market? It's awesome. In addition to politics, weather, economy, phenomenal stuff up there. Get up there. Game 4 tonight. Free money. $50 on them. Pauley Market lets you react in real time. Use code BUZZ. Get your $50 for free. Code BUZZ. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. And who will attend tonight? It's a laundry list and plenty of options up at Pauley Market. Take advantage and get in there and have some fun.
Yeah, I know, by the way, this game and the NBA Finals in general, because of the Knicks, it's getting bet like the Super Bowl overall. We heard that from Thomas Gable back at the Borgata. So you can probably get down a healthy amount on those kind of markets as well. Follow the money here on VSiN. Mike Palm on the program coming up next. Who is he betting to win the Cup? Getting creative for these baseball games played in Las Vegas. Keep in mind the A's host the terrible Rockies pitching staff coming up this week, and we'll talk to them about it coming up next.
Let me get your attention real quick, podcast listeners. I've got something for you that almost feels too good to be true. First, credit where credit's due. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already leveling up your betting game. You're riding along with our best bets and top angles. And when there's a good game on, you're getting involved with a few props and alt markets as well. There's one more layer if you really want to step things up, and that's VSiN Pro. I've mentioned it before, but things are only getting better for our pro subscribers. We just rolled out our MLB prop projections, breaking down some of the best edges across strikeouts, hits, home runs, and more. And that's on top of everything else pro subscribers already get, including public betting splits, expert picks, and betting guides across the sports calendar. If you haven't tried it yet, stop sleeping on it. You can get your first month just $9.99 or save big with promo code POD26 on the annual subscription. Hit the link in the description and start cashing in with VSiN Pro. All right, back to the show.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board here on a Wednesday. We're live in Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot as always, and it is Wednesdays with the Maestro. He is the VP of this great property, along with the Golden Gate and the D here in downtown. Mike Palm joins the program. Good to see you as always, pal. How are you?
Hello, Mitch. Hello, Paul. How are you guys?
You enjoying this every other night? NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup at the same time? I mean, this is pretty much as good as it gets.
It's a nice cadence, and they take off for soccer. They don't want to go up against the men, and so they've sort of got. But it's a nice cadence. It's good, and you got everything else going on: baseball, WNBA.
Paul says he's still confident the Carolina Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup final. Do you?
I think they are
in the same boat?
I think right now slight lean towards them, maybe 53-47. I've always said it was more of a toss-up series than the line indicated, but I think Bussy now gives them an edge. I mean, if Hart's going to give up 4 every game,
yes,
right? I thought 3 would be enough for him last night. It wasn't. They had to come back and get a 4th. But I never thought after they scored that 4th goal and they got through the next shift that the Knights were really going to score. I know Eichel had it right off the face-off in front of the goal, but I don't think they really threatened. Carolina kept the puck in the Knights' end for the back half of that. Look, Hart has to be better too. I mean, what was he? Close to 93% save percentage during the regular season at the end, and he's about 87% in the finals. Then the other thing is Marner has 10 shots on goal in game 3 and none last night. So, and Eichel really hasn't done much. So I would give a slight edge right now to the Hurricane.
We're seeing the heart from the Utah series.
He wasn't good
Right.
that first series.
I know.
Let me ask both of you guys this. Through 4 games, who has been the better team?
Last night the Knights did not deserve to win.
They did not. They were bad.
Carolina clearly deserved to win that game.
Yep.
The other 3 games, you could make arguments both ways, I think, of who deserved to win games, right? It's the opposite of 2 and 3. The Knights blow the lead in 2 and then and again in 3, but they got one done and they didn't get the other one done. One went back and forth. So I would say if you were judging it on a fight, it's really close. I mean, you could almost say it's tied. What would it be? The 38-38 after 4 rounds?
Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys, what about the betting handle with the total? Because I gave up after the second game of trying to bet under 5.5 or under 6. I thought it was going to be a low scoring series. The exact opposite.
But the thing here is just bet the first goal in the first 10, right? Bet the goal in the first 10.
I had the no last night. Killed.
Right off the bat.
Yeah,
well,
big.
they're kind of a bad bounce, but then they get to give up a terrible McNabb. What was that clearing? Just shuffle it backwards to the center of the ice. That was awful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can't
Great call.
You can't.
Another silly turnover.
Yeah.
Awful. And another too many men on the ice, 2 straight games.
Yep.
Get Tortorella out of there. Bring the AAA guy up now. I wouldn't let Tortorella get on the plane to Raleigh. Get him out.
He's been there long enough.
Good.
Yeah, the deal was for the end of June. Cut it short a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Musburger was really into it. Brent was on the glass and getting animated and having a good time last night.
I was glad to see him.
Yeah,
Glad to see him
great.
down there on the glass, planted in that one hole down there, right behind the goal. I mean, obviously, it's another very exciting game, but hopefully, Brent's still got a lot of energy left to help save us here.
Well, you guys have a suite there, obviously. Derek has a bunch of tickets right on the glass behind the net. How popular, have the requests been from some of your biggest players to go to these games?
We have to come up and have pods for them because we just can't fit everybody. There ends up being 10 or 12 people on the wait list when the smoke clears that really deserve to go, but they just can't. So we end up having pods in the book for them to watch the game in somewhat of a nice atmosphere.
Good question.
Yeah.
It's tough. And then imagine if Sunday night they can clinch.
Yeah, that'll be. There's already for Sunday nights like 18 on the waiting list for Sunday.
Really?
Night, right?
Yep.
So
I'm sure.
you know who the biggest fans last night pulling for Carolina were season ticket holders of the Vegas Golden Knights, who now know there'll be a game 6, and they can sell those 2 tickets that they paid a combined $650 for $7,000 or $8,000. Right? That game 6 price is doubled from what games 3 and 4 were on the resale market.
Good point.
Derek was spooked yesterday with the total in the A's game. And I know you guys talked about it, and he was at the first game.
He sold me on playing over last night.
Yeah.
Stuck it right in the keys to freeze.
Can you believe that? 7-5 in the 6th.
He told me, he said 11, the total should be 18.5. You've never seen a ball. He gave me the whole story.
Yeah, right.
The balls, that's a pop-up. Gone, right? So he gave me the whole spiel. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. No runs in the last 3 innings either. I thought
you should have cashed.
Yeah, right? Cash it out. I don't know. He sold me like this was Mexico City. Right? With the ball just flying out every time you put it in the air.
Well, tonight might be again.
Yeah. We have bad pitchers tonight.
Yeah.
They weren't exactly Cy Young candidates last night either.
true.
but-
That's
True. But also
It's
keep in mind,
amazing, Mitch, the number of Brewers jerseys walking around here all day, every day. Of course, we brought those 20 people out from Waukegan that won the contest there, and they've been terrific as well.
and a nice contingency of fans at the park, actually, in like the throwback kind of Brewers uniforms that
and
I've
tons
seen.
of kids out there, Derek said, just a ton of kids going to the games out there, especially in the pool area and all that.
Did you see a lot of betting handle like on the total for these games?
We saw last night it got bet to the over, but not really that much the first night, surprisingly.
Okay. Tonight is 14.5. And I got to go back and double check what Circus at right now with the year feed. DK had minus 245 earlier today.
Yeah.
It's the highest I've ever seen.
Well, it's hard to even price it, right? I don't know how you even offer it. It's even at the height, even when the Rockies, Coors is not really a scoring fest place like it used to be. But at the height of when it was, I remember the highest lines I saw, there were like 185, 190 on the
For year fee?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the wind happens to be blowing out tonight with these pitchers on the mound, I think it's probably a little bit closer to game 1 than it was last night. If the wind blows out. And oh, by the way, they get the Rockies this weekend with that pitching staff.
Yeah, I saw that. I wonder what kind of turnout we'll get. Even though it's a weekend series, I think a better turnout for the Brewers midweek than the Rockies on the weekend.
How's the betting handle for the NBA Finals?
Been terrific. It's awesome. People are into it. There's a lot of energy in the book.
Got a lot of props.
People betting the props.
Yep.
People betting.
You said Wemby against Brunson's popular head-to-head?
Spurs first quarter is a very popular bet.
Yeah.
Spurs first to 10.
I was gonna say
think the
first to 10,
Spurs
first to
first
15.
quarter is 3-0 now, and the first to 10 is like, what, 10-1 or something, the last 11? Because he plays almost, he plays that long stretch of the first, so he's going to be in.
He wins the tip, usually.
Usually wins the tip.
That's a good sign right
Yep.
there to begin.
Yep.
And he plays pretty much the entire first quarter, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So first to 10, first to 15. The first 3-point make was always popular with you guys a couple years ago.
Sure, when we put Miles Leonard at 80-1. When
Yes, I remember
you
that.
remember that fiasco?
He was starting,
That was
yeah.
a bloodbath. I think Metcalf might have still been here when that happened. He was starting 80-1.
Yeah. you knew exactly where I was going with that.
Yes, Miles Leonard.
Miles Leonard, 80-1 in the starting lineup. Yeah.
Tough. What are you doing with the soccer?
Well,
break it down
I'm
for
surprised you asked, but
Why?
Why? You love the sport as much as anybody.
Cuff will be on later. But anyhow, I listened to Nigel yesterday. Terrific. Missed him. Been texting with him a little bit in the last few weeks.
It was interesting with the Heat and what he said, yeah.
I really believe that's a big angle against these Northern European teams. I think that they don't. I don't know, Paul. You follow like in England, not just championship, but the League 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Remember they have their promotion finals at Wembley? It was like 86 and people were passing out and it was affecting the game and everybody's cramping up.
Yeah.
Like they're not used to that. I think these African teams and these South American teams have a big advantage, but you have to check the venues. Not all venues are the same. It's not like they're all going to be Kansas City, which I think is going to be brutal, or Miami. But anyhow, here's what I did. I'll just tell you what my bets are. I keyed on 2 teams and I like the Clockwork Orange. I like the Netherlands, right? I like Gakpo. They're 20-1. I bet them 21-1 and to reach the semis plus 370. And then I also bet Norway at 30-1 and to reach the semis plus $6. And Christopher Sullivan gave me Norway. Netherlands was my own. If Netherlands wins their group and Norway's second, which would be most likely result if they both advance, they'd be on opposite sides of the bracket. So that wouldn't be a contradictory bet. I like 2 teams to advance out of their group and lay a little bit of a price. I like Ecuador at minus $1.75 to it. This is a really good defensive team. Yeah. Look at their unders. Their whole defense is made out of the top flight of European teams, right? In the European domestic leagues. And then I also like Austria. And I like Austria because these teams don't have much time to where they play 2 or 3 friendlies together and they're new teams. This Austrian team's been under Ralph Rankin playing the same style. So for them to advance minus 175 as well. And then England, Croatia next Wednesday. This England's going to be very low scoring. They're the slowest team the ball up the field, the most possession, the least goals allowed. They play just like Arsenal. You know what I tell that? England is Arsenal with Harry Kane. Under 2.5 with Croatia, minus $1.45. I'd take a look at under 1.5 at that game, plus 220 as well.
And then would you get involved in play?
Sure, of course I do.
It's dead for the first 30 minutes. I mean, advice for the audience here?
I day trade all the time here. But here's what I focus on when I want to bet unders. Generally the maximum price, the heaviest favorite on the 3-way line that I like to bet an under in is minus 140. I can't bet unders when one team is so much better than the other and they can put up 3 or 4 goals themselves. So I try to stay with competitive games.
Nigel also, by the way, if you missed Nigel yesterday on the show, you can always go back and listen to the Follow the Money podcast. Pretty high hopes for USA. Were you surprised by that?
I think Turkey's tough. He makes a good point about them playing them last.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do to temper expectations with the USA. I never like to get my hopes up too high.
This guy had a great breakdown on covers that Mitch sent over because goal differential's so big. So especially early on, if you're playing a lesser team,
you want to get
you're gonna go for it because that's the number one tiebreaker
for sure. Yeah, more with Mike Palm, the Maestro, coming up next. He cannot believe this is still happening in the year 2026. Find out what that is next. You cannot be serious on Follow the Money. This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in. We continue Wednesdays with the Maestro, Mike Palm. Time now for You Cannot Be Serious.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
You know, we really see the advent of how technology has helped running sports, in terms of officiating sports, right? I was one that kind of pushed back on the automated ball strikes. I think it's terrific. I think there's an argument that you just adopt it the whole time. Why wouldn't you want to get every call right? I guess there's some drama to the challenges and some strategy. The fans love it when it comes up on the board, blah, 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 blah. But get the calls right. We see now chips and footballs. You really don't need a chain gang. It can determine first downs. It can determine where the ball flies out of bounds instead of some 78-year-old man trying to run up at the sidelines and triangulate on a punt. And then here we were in Paris the last 2 weeks, constantly watching umpires climbing up and down out of their chairs and pointing to some spot on the court. How many times did they point to the wrong spot? Or pointed to the spot and said the ball's out, but clearly you saw that the ball was in or the opposite way. I watched 4 specific matches where umpires came down and looked at the wrong ball spot, including the men's final. There was a Casper Ruud, João Fonseca match, Iva Jovic, Emma Navarro, and I can't remember who Marta Kostyuk was playing, but Martina Navratilova was doing the color. By the way, she might be the best ex-athlete color commentator in any sport.
Ooh.
She is incredibly good. McEnroe's not bad. She is incredibly good. Kostyuk hit the ball. The umpire called. It was ruled out. And Martina said right in real time, oh, no, she'll overturn it. It was in. It was in. Umpire gets out of her chair, comes down, and points to a spot that's not close. The ball hit in the sun. The umpire pointed to a spot in the shade. The TNT crew did a great job breaking it down. The spot the umpire pointed to was 22 inches from where the ball actually hit. And Kostyuk was absolutely losing her mind.
What?
But what did the French Open officials say? You know what they say? Because of the granular nature of the clay, the Hawkeye might not be as accurate as is on hard court surfaces in grass, and the clear mark of the ball is a better way of officiating. Are you serious? You cannot be serious, French Open.
You cannot be serious!
All right. I was surprised. Now, here's a bit of news in the world of sports broadcasting that I was a little bit surprised by. You know, the Pac-12's coming back, Paul. A lot of it is Mountain West teams that are heading back there, and you've got your Oregon State and your Washington State. USA is going to be covering a lot of the game. I didn't know if you caught this announcement, but USA has headlined. They have hired their lead color analyst for college football for the Pac-12 network, and he's none other than former VSiN host, former VSiN by the Books co-host Ryan Leaf. Many of you may be familiar with Ryan Leaf, but did you also catch his second job he'll be doing for the network? He's going to be the basketball analyst as well. He's going to be the color commentator on Pac-12 college basketball games. And they said, well, because he had such an outstanding career in both basketball and football. Well, I think he had a career in one that was not comparable to a career in the other. Paul, you had a better career in hockey than this guy did. He played high school basketball. Okay, that's nice. He was also, I remember when he was here, he was talking about playing at Washington. He never played basketball at Washington State. I find this, and the defense of it by USA saying he's a hybrid that can do all sports. Yeah, the guys that can do all sports can do it play-by-play on all sports, not on color analysis on all sports. They're looking to add flair to this league to draw attention to it. We'll see how this experiment goes. USA Network.
You cannot be serious!
Something very wrong with the Indiana Fever.
Yes.
I'm becoming convinced that Stephanie White hates Kate. That she absolutely hates her. This 2-game road trip they had where they lost a close game at Golden State to start off the road trip, right? And they just, I don't get it. I thought Draymond Green made a great point. They allow her to get isolated on defense time and time and time again. Draymond Green made a great point. He said, do you think at Golden State we let Steph have to go one-on-one all the time on defense and get isolated? Of course not. The whole defense was built around the premises that we need Steph fresh on offense to carry our team. But time and time again, they let her get isolated, then put all the blame on her. Now they lose a close game to Golden State. It was back and forth all. Now they go play Portland, right? Who they'd run out in Indiana already when Caitlin didn't play. They go play Portland. They go up 8-2 in the first 3 minutes of the game, and she pulls her out, right? She comes out of the game, and Portland goes on like some ridiculous 21-2 run. They blew them out. They were never in it. She got in foul trouble again, played very few minutes, right? Now, during that game, you saw the whole spat on the bench where Caitlin's part of it. When Stephanie White has a timeout, the 5 that are in the game are on the bench sitting, and everybody else is standing around in the semicircle. Caitlin says something. We don't know. It was about defense, puts her hands up. She kicks her out and puts Raven Johnson, averaging 1 point a game from South Carolina, the rookie, and of course, pulls her out of the game. Then how about this game in Washington the other night? They're 5.5-point favorites. They're up 12-14 in the first half. Caitlin has 2 fouls. Right at the end of the half, she gets called for a foul on a fast break for Washington, which if you look at the replay, she never touched the girl, right? They're going to interview Caitlin at halftime, but Stephanie White steps in to take the interview to complain about how dumb fouls they're committing because they're always out of position, which of course was a direct shot at her. Now, into the game comes. They're down 1 with 4 seconds to go, and they're inbounding the ball, right? She's just lucky. She's just lucky that her best friend, Sophie Cunningham, was inbounding the ball, because you saw the first 2 options were not to her. The first option was actually, I know who they say, but it was Lexi Hall cutting across the baseline. She throws it across court, and Caitlin drains the 3, right? Only 2 girls on the court even celebrated.
I noticed that.
Only 2 girls even celebrated it, right? Even came up to her. She hits the 3 to win the game. Well, essentially, there's 1 second left to win the game right in front of the Washington owners. 2 girls come up to celebrate it. Hall and Cunningham, and she walks to the bench, Stephanie White, with a low 5 minutes. They look at each other. It's incredible what's going on here. And I don't know if Lynn Dunn's behind it or what's going on. Are they going to try to move her? I don't know, but she clearly has a problem with Caitlin Clark. These girls were making, ladies, were making $80,000, $100,000. They're all making $1 million a year now. Usually went up, most of their salaries went up by 10x. The minimum 6x. The transformation, and they cannot stand this girl. Her contract ends at the end of next. There's no shot she's going to be in Indiana in 20. I don't know if she'll be there the rest of the year. But the Indiana Fever and Stephanie White.
You cannot be serious.
Very good.
Will they recognize that there's a major issue here, and that the coach probably is number one? She has to get axed, or is it going to be too late by the time they actually open their eyes?
Well, Christy Sides wasn't good enough. Remember, Christy Sides was their coach. They had to bring in Stephanie White, who had won with the Connecticut Sun and had loved Caitlin because she broadcast her games for the Big Ten Network and all of this. I don't know. I don't understand the offense. They run pick and rolls, but they won't continue to run pick and rolls with her in Boston. What's happened to Leah Boston? She got on a podcast with Candace Parker, and that's it. Now she can't put up any numbers. Meanwhile, before we get off of WNBA, this Olivia Miles is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
The number 2 pick in the draft, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at her, and Mitch, you made a good point to me before we came on. She's 40-1 for MVP. Of course, Asia's going to win it if Asia stays healthy.
Yes.
But what if she doesn't stay healthy? Miles, 17.8, 5.2 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.4 steals. She's shooting 53% from 2, 37% from 3, and 91% from the line. And she's clearly the leader of a Lynx team that's 10-2 and the best team in the league. And there's no question.
Blowing teams out of the water here.
You made the point to me. It was a great point. Bet it at a place that has cash outs on futures. Right?
Yeah. Olivia Miles to win the MVP of the WNBA. She can't win if Asia Wilson stays healthy.
But even if Asia doesn't get hurt, and this girl continues to play like this, she's not going to be the 9th choice.
Oh, no, God, no.
She's minus 2,000 for Rookie of the Year. She will come down, and you will gain value on your ticket as she continues to play well. I don't know that. I'm sure they're not rushing Collier back right now. I wouldn't be rushing Collier back because she's going to be a ball stopper on that offense that moves the ball around. Maybe they even look to move her. She only signed a 1-year contract. Lugo over 17.5 outs tonight, minus 108. It's 7-4 on the year. He did it in Texas against the Rangers. Home tonight against them.
I think he was going to do it last start as well, by the rain delay.
The rain delay killed him.
Got him.
In Minnesota.
Yep.
The rain delay got him in Minnesota.
You said something interesting with Ryan Leaf, because Kornheiser didn't go well. Dennis Miller didn't go well. Barkley was up for Monday Night Football once. Does it have to be just athletes that break down X's and O's?
No, but
I think it should be open. I know your point about play-by-play, but I also think that you should. Anyone can break down tape and X's and O's. That just shouldn't be former athletes, though.
Well, I agree with you there, but I don't know that playing high school basketball.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't participated in basketball since. He hasn't been coaching, right? He hasn't. So I don't know, or intently watching college basketball. I don't know, but I thought it was a strange move to include both.
Yeah, that's going to add flair.
Did you listen to Costas on with Stone last night on the White Sox broadcast?
I heard the game-winning call.
He came in the third inning and then went the whole rest of the way. Well, I mean, if Donkey wouldn't have been up there, it would have been better than Schriffen. He was okay, but he gets a little bit into too much of the history. And
He loves it.
I know. But then the Reagan, and on about the Reagan Alzheimer. I don't.
I will say this. White Sox games are fun to watch because their fans absolutely love this team. And they show up. I don't know if it's sold out every night. It looks sold out. And when they're hitting like big home runs or they're coming back like that, the place goes absolutely
Kid
nuts.
making his debut with a walk-off last night.
Yeah.
Limited time lock in the early bird pricing. Football season special, $175. Every best bet, every host, every guest in the NFL betting guide drops June 22nd. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get it now.
Will the Knicks make a massive move in the offseason if they blow a 2-0 series lead? We'll tell you which team is willing to wait and find out next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Coming up at the top of the hour, Dallin Cuff is going to join the program. Typically, we have Dallin on throughout the college basketball season. Really good on the coverage, but I think his first love might be soccer. And so he's coming on today. And my goodness, does he have the bets? I don't even know if we can get to them all when he joins the program in 15 minutes.
Oh, he came heavy.
Yeah, he really did. So let me throw this at you. You know, the pressure again was a big reason why I like the Spurs early in game 3. So I think the Knicks get over that tonight. I bet them during the show at minus 126 on the money line to win the game. But if they don't win tonight, and then they're going to go back to San Antonio for game 5, and somehow, some way, like sky is going to be falling, as you've said, big time, right?
Kidding.
So now this is from Mark Stein and Jake Fisher earlier today that there is, quote, an increasing belief that the Bucks would prefer to wait on a Giannis trade until after the NBA Finals to see if the Knicks potentially blow a 2-0 lead and would have interest in response.
Pauly market, Miami Heat still the favorite, 45%, which I agree with because they were really active at the deadline.
Yeah.
And Pat Riley at his end of the year interview said, we need a big guy. And I'm all about size. And I think that's the big, and they need a marquee name and you have to get Bam help, as he said. But this is fascinating that this could happen. There has to be a fall guy, and they think it would be, we would have to bring in Giannis and somehow he's the cat's meow, and now Cat would be the fall guy.
Is that so?
I can't, that's, yeah. If they make the trade, Cat's got to be in it. What, Bridges and Pieces isn't going to get it done.
No, that's not going to get it done. OG and Pieces? Would that get it done? Again,
can you have Cat and Giannis together?
I'd be intrigued by that.
Can that work?
Well, I mean, Cat and Gobert work together. It's completely different, but they got to the Western Conference Finals, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good for them.
Cat also had some bad, well, you could argue, though, that I was bad Cat, but also they should have won more. If I have Ann and Cat on the same team and how well Cat's playing.
Well, how big of a panic move would this be for the Knicks?
I don't think they do that. There's no way they can do that. Now, I know they made the shocking move, which was the correct move by Dolan, which was to make the conference finals and then replace their coach. But he was right. He said Tibbs was running us into the ground and we weren't fresh playoff time. And we ran out of gas. And we also didn't play the young guys in the bench. Mike Brown was a good fit.
Do they have the Knicks up right now? What do they have the Knicks listed at right now for Giannis?
But if
it's got to be a small percentage, I would think, to actually be the next team. I like the Bucks are doing this because the thought that has entered my brain as somebody from that state and someone who loves Giannis Antetokounmpo is that they're going to, and in fact, they're in the process of kind of blowing this right now. And what they think about this, Bridges, who the Knicks had to give up 4 first-round picks for, you would think, based on a deal like that, or what Bane got going from Memphis to Orlando, the Bucks could certainly get like 4 first-round picks and probably a proven player. I don't know if they're in that boat anymore. I don't think they do that.
I think the Lakers would be more likely. The Knicks are only 6% at Pauly market.
Oh, that would be that's a bet on the Knicks losing this series.
I guess who's third?
Oklahoma City,
Charlotte, and boy, do they have the pieces.
Well, the latest on Charlotte is they're going to make a run at DeMontis Sabonis.
Oh, come on,
Bridges would be involved in that deal, along with I think another piece and a pick, I believe, for Sabonis.
Like it.
Well, what would they have to give up to get Giannis, though? They're going to give up a lot more than that. Hello, Con Kneppel? Yeah, he's going to be part of the trade.
I don't know. I have a lot of picks. I don't mind that. Also, look at the guys they have in some contracts. They got a lot to offer. Pistons are the second on that list.
I guess the Portland.
Oh, that's not bad. I mean, imagine if you had him down there instead of Duran, how bad he was in the playoffs.
True.
How you could use him.
Oh, my God. If you could have Cade Cunningham and Giannis together,
Yeah.
whew, man, now we're really cooking there.
Well, this is why tonight's so big. Because I think the winner of tonight's game wins the series. And this goes back to, and I know this growing up as a Cub fan, you expect the worst when you're going through the drought. And I know it changed everything in Boston and it changed what happened in Chicago that they finally won and then the success that they had after that. But you are expecting the worst every big game when you have a long drought like this, not as long as Boston and Chicago, but 1973. And most of the fans in this arena tonight haven't seen a title in their lifetime. And to be in this position, it's just going back. And Brian Mahoney even talked about it, that it's like that kind of hurt the atmosphere too. And it's going to be worse tonight where you're sitting on your hands. You had to wait in line for 2 hours. Everything's blocked off. And oh my God, we were up 2-0, Knicks in 4. Yeah. And now this thing could be tied and we lose home court and we're not going to get a better opportunity because the Celtics will reload, OKC will reload, and the Spurs will be better.
Well, and you would think teams in the East will also get better. You mentioned Charlotte already.
Yeah.
Charlotte wasn't even a playoff team this year. I think they would have been a serious threat in the East had they made it.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Cleveland, but you could see Detroit could be better next year too. Mm-hmm. And they could give the Knicks some problems.
Well, what if Miami makes if they're a serious player here in the offseason?
Yeah,
there's another team.
You just can't blow this opportunity.
What do you make of the Wizards?
I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not a Trae Young fan.
Well, neither am I.
I don't even know if Anthony Davis is sticking around.
I don't either.
This
is the biggest what if ever. But what if Young and Davis stay the entire time in Washington for this specific year? Let's say they take the Bansa and he just absolutely pops as a rookie and 20 points per game, and Davis really doesn't get hurt. That's at least mildly interesting to me as a team that could be kind of looked at as a threat anyway.
The Bucks are also cutting this close. If this series goes 7 then, because they're waiting to see the outcome, and if the Knicks blow this, they wanted to get the deal done before the draft. You're running out of runway then. You're getting close.
I would be on the phone every day with Oklahoma City.
Can't happen.
Even if they just keep saying no, I just got to pick up the phone.
You can't do it. You can't.
If you're Oklahoma City?
You can't do it. You're paying 2 guys those monster contracts. It'd be you and me as supporting cast.
Would you take Chet back in a deal for Giannis?
Yeah, I would.
You would? And what?
In Milwaukee, yeah.
And just picks, or I'd want Cason Wallace.
Yeah.
Or AJ Mitchell. Or both. I don't know how willing Oklahoma City would be in a deal like that.
He's going to run it back. I don't think that's what Presti's going to do.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, is that
it doesn't work out with the numbers to have SGA and Giannis on the same team because of how much money they would make.
They can't possibly keep all the players on this roster, though. They're too good. AJ Mitchell is going to make $25 million minimum at some point. Cason Wallace, same thing. They can't pay all these guys all that money. They're going to have to. You can't. If you're Oklahoma City, the last thing you can do is pull an Angels and get nothing in return for Ohtani.
Yeah. But this is why we love sports. 2 days ago, he's a Hall of Famer. It's the best 2 games he's ever played. He's clearly the MVP of the series. Now he doesn't get enough touches. They lose the game. All the spotlight's on him tonight in the focus after what Mike Brown said. And now it's, do we trade him or make moves if we blow this?
I know.
What they do. You have to, I think they've earned the right to run it back, even if they lose in 7.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible run. Come on.
Did you play Katz as his prop over tonight?
Yes, have to.
Okay.
Have to.
I played Alvarado.
The coach is telling you. More on that coming up.
Yeah,
but the coach is telling you. Alvarado, yes?
No, go ahead. Yeah, Brown basically is telling you that it's going to have to go through Towns again, right?
Yes. Yeah, this is also big too. The magic number for the Spurs in the playoffs has been 110. When they score 110 points or more, they're 12-2. When they're held under that, they're 1-6.
Well, the total sitting right where it has been pretty much the entire series right now, 216.5.
So we'll see. The Spurs didn't run as much in the last game with the transition. The Knicks have been excellent in transition. It also could have been an indictment, though, with Cleveland and Philly about how bad they were defensively, and the Knicks were so good they broke them, let go of the rope, and made them quit. But you're taking on a top 3 defensive team here, and that's a whole different ball game as well. But that's been the magic number, 110 for San Antonio.
There's a great tweet from Matt Moore, who's going to be on the program on Friday, Dynamite on the NBA. He tweeted out the Spurs really slowed things down in game 3, like you talked about. Here are the numbers. Transition possessions in each game. In game 1, they had 31 possessions in transition. Game 2, 25. Game 3, 14. And he added that they scored terribly in those possessions. They forced fewer, but scored better on them in game 3. If they're going to be reluctant to get up and run, I mean, the longer a series plays out, the more I want to have my bets geared towards the under.
Get up there to Poly Market tonight, game 4. They're giving you free money, $50 when you use code BUZZ. The menu and the options are awesome. LeBron's next team, Giannis next team. Will LeBron retire? Number 1 pick, 2nd overall pick. It's phenomenal. Will Wemby have a quadruple double in the series? It's all up there. Start with code BUZZ. Get $50 free at Poly Market. They let you react in real time. Cash out before the final buzzer. Unlike traditional sports books where you're locked in until the game ends. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Just check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and requirements apply. Poly Market is phenomenal. Find out for yourself.
Up next, best bets in the World Cup. Dalen Cuff is going to join the program. You want to talk about, my goodness, a guy that has a ton of bets? It is him. He's loaded to the gills. Find out who he likes, what he has bet coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.